Hey, Dirt Farmer Jay here from dirtfarmerjay.com. You've probably seen this brand being advertised all over the social media channels for raised garden beds. Well, we decided to give it a try, see what we found out. One of the first things you may want to know is where it's made. It comes clearly labeled that it was made in China, distributed in the U.S. We're going to open the box and see how well made it is, the gauge of it, and how good the instructions are. Well, let's get to it. All right, let's get it open. Securely packaged. Oh, they gave us some little gardening gloves there, all right, branded ones. There's a little instruction manual and a ton of fasteners. It comes in two different colors. As you can see, we've got the gray and it also comes in white. And these are, I would say, medium gauge. They're not super heavy duty like full agricultural tanks, but they're not as thin as some that I've seen before. And right now this flexes at this angle, but when we bolt them together, I anticipate that we'll end up with something that's pretty doggone rigid. As far as dimensions go, it's about 18 inches tall, about 45 to 46 centimeters tall, and 48 inches wide, which, if I refer here really quickly, is about 122 centimeters diameter. It holds 179 gallons of media. Well, here's their little instruction manual right here for building these. It just simply shows the part in their pictogram. You've got the curved panel, wing nuts, the fasteners, and then this looks like an important piece of information that everything overlaps around each one. I call that a chasing pattern. Then it's all attached, and what we have in front of us makes two sets. Well, let's look at the tools they provide and see if we can use better tools right out of our shop inventory. Okay, so here's the parts and the tool that comes with it. A little emergency Phillips screwdriver. I don't see any use for that. That's going to go away, especially when you can use something like that ready to drive this. All the galvanized screws with the Phillips and straight combo heads. I'll use Phillips. And then, of course, the matching wing nuts that go with that allow you to drive the screws on one side, hold the wing nut on the other side, and tighten them as needed. Let's go ahead and put these directly into these little magnetic dishes. That's going to keep everything where they need to be. Okay, we're ready to go to work. We have our fasteners here, and I'll let you know at the time when we finish assembly if they gave any extra fasteners or you had to be super careful not to lose any of them. All right, let's go ahead and start assembly. All right, so I set these up on a flat surface and make them easier to handle. Align the hole, put in our first fastener. I'm using the drill, as I said, and as a matter of fact, the instructions mention that as well. And I'm not going to super tighten them until I get several going, but make sure that the wing nuts go to the inside of the container, not the outside. The outside is for the driver side, and that's the proper way to put them together. All right, we're just going to rotate around, step and repeat. Each one has to overlap on the next one. Okay, now we have all of the pieces put together here. It's creating that 48-inch wide bed. And we purposely left all the fasteners loose to begin with, simply because if you really cinched them down and then parts were misaligned, it's just a real hassle. So it's a lot better to leave them loose like this. We put 3 fasteners in each of the joint lines, making sure that each of the pieces chased behind the other ones. Now we're going to just go through and tighten these up and then start applying the other fasteners as well. So here we are, we've got everything completed, 6 sections, 6 bolts per section joined, so 36 fasteners are used to assemble this. Again, making sure that the wing nut goes to the inside, The Phillips drive head or straight drive goes on the outside. Using an electric driver makes it go a lot faster. And if you want, you can use a pair of pliers to hold the wing nuts. They can get a little sharp when you rotate in. But now we have a nice unit. I would say that once it's been assembled, the stiffness is greatly increased. And we will get a set of these assembled, 6 of them, and they'll go out into our field where we're going to go ahead and put irrigation with a standpipe up in the middle, fill these up with about the 170 or 180 quarts of growing material. We may actually throw some things in the bottom like bark or chipped wood, that sort of thing, keep enriching the soil. And one other thing we're going to do before we put these down is we will put netting at the bottom, close chicken wire, because we do have pocket gophers, and they will find their ways into these very rich growing beds with lots of roots for them to eat. So we're going to keep them out. All right, there you've got it here. If you're interested in seeing some of the other packages that they provide, both for the rectangular with the round ends, also in white and this platinum gray, which we really like, or if you want to call it battleship gray, looks pretty classy. You can go up there and get those prices. We don't make a cent on these. As always, when we find something that we think solves a problem, it's our pleasure to pass it on to you. And we think we're going to have a great growing experience with all the vine crops. What we needed to pay for these when we bought them was about $75 all in per 48-inch ring. So we got 6 of them, and that was a package that they offer. And comparing prices, if I went to our local agricultural supply or home improvement center and looked at the galvanized steel rings that are approximately the size, sometimes shallower, we're talking $85 each plus. So we actually saved a little bit of money, and we think we got a classy looking product that has that cool gray finish on it. We'll come back to you and let you know how it all turns out. Here's something else you should know about if you're a home gardener, and that's how to build your own DIY irrigation system using PVC pipe. Here's a great system that we've used for quite some time. We use it to irrigate our corn and adding them into our beds. We think you're going to really like it, using parts that you can get right from your home center. And while you're at it, check out this other video that YouTube thinks is perfect for your interest, and we'd like it if you watch it too. Until the next time, this is Dirt Farmer Jay from dirtfarmerjay.com, going out to tend the garden.